Brown. They have to get, if Charleston Southern is going to have any type of success on offense, they got to get the ball to their playmakers, D. Brown being one of them.
After a long, hot summer here in South Florida, up in Charleston and throughout the nation, pleased to say the college football season has arrived. It's Charleston Southern and the University of Miami opening kickoff just moments away right here on CSS. It was a bright, sunny day here in South Florida. Temperature below 90 finally. Humidity at 65%. Wind should not be much of a factor this evening. Charleston Southern's head coach on the sidelines is Jay Mills, his 6th season at the helm of the Buccaneers. And you see his career mark. He is known as an offensive mastermind for Charleston Southern. On the other sideline, as mentioned, in his 2nd year with the University of Miami is Randy Shannon, trying to improve upon a 5-7 record, and he will rely primarily on a youth movement with the top-ranked recruiting class in the nation, many of whom we'll see this evening on the field tonight. As we get set for our opening kickoff, it'll be Charleston Southern kicking off. You get a look at tonight's officials. Miami to receive. And as I speak, the kick comes off the foot, and the 2008 season is underway. Miami will take the opening kickoff back in a seam across the 25 and across the 30-yard line. A fine return for the Miami Hurricanes, who will take over 1st and 10 after Ryan Hill's fine kickoff return. Well, the Miami Hurricanes take the offense for the first time in 2008, and they do it with a true freshman, 18-year-old Ja'Cory Harris. Casey Jones at the middle of the Hurricane huddle. They take their call from the sideline as Ja'Cory's collegiate career is set to begin.
Yeah, Khalil Jones, actually the wide receiver, said that he believes Ja'Cory Harris is a rock star. He's been so cool all week, hasn't had a blip on his pulse, but he's ready to start this game tonight.
Yeah, a guy that has played in many pressure situations in high school, as Javaris James takes the opening handoff and plunges ahead for more than 10 yards. So the Hurricanes with a fine run on 1st down, and they'll move the chains, and a fine start for Javaris James. Taking a look at the Hurricanes starting offensive line, they will rely on a veteran unit up front. Jason Fox, Chris Rutledge, the starters at tackle. Randy Shannon's son, Xavier, is a transfer from Florida International. He's in the middle of the offensive line. You see the skill positions, including Javaris James, who had the fine carry on the 1st down play. And James again shows his shiftiness and almost breaks it deep into the secondary. Another 1st down run, it appears, for Javaris. Well, this defense of Charleston Southern obviously put to the test this evening. Ryan Ard is a guy that played very well at the tight end position last year. It's a 4-4 defensive formation, KC, something the Hurricanes don't face on a regular basis.
No, actually, not too many teams actually play this type of defense. But with the spread offense on the other side of the ball, it adjusts well with the 4-4 defense.
Here's Ja'Cory Harris in the shotgun formation. Passing for the first time. It's complete on the sideline. And plunging forward is the tight end, Chris Zellner, as that last run by Javaris James was ruled just short of a 1st down. An easy conversion, in the Hurricanes marching into Buccaneer territory.
Javaris, carried the load last year with Greg Cooper. Got a little beat up toward the end of the season, but it's great to see a healthy Javaris James in the huddle. Breaking tackles, moving downfield. I tell you what, he's playing behind a much improved offensive line. Talk a little bit later about Xavier Shannon, Coach Randy Shannon's son.
Here's a 1st and 10 for the Canes from the Charleston Southern 34-yard line is where they mark it. They bring in the extra tight end, Harris, on a play action. Pressure comes from the outside, and the ball is knocked down. Charleston Southern's Darius Gaither applying the pressure and causing the incompletion.
Trying to move Ja'Cory out of the pocket a little bit with some play action, a little bootleg, but ball is batted down. The play is definitely there. Derek Epps is wide open, and I think he had some open field there if he would have been able to catch the ball.
Ja'Cory Harris in the last 4 years, KC, did not experience one loss with the Miami Northwestern High team that won consecutive state championships. Javaris James again with the carry. He's brought down at the 30-yard line.
People might not know this, but in Ja'Cory's senior season, he actually called most of the plays in the huddle himself. Didn't get the play called in from the sideline. Actually developed the strategy in the huddle and ran that play.
So this is a new experience as we see Jacory peeking towards the sideline to receive the signals, telling his teammates, get out of the way.
Yeah, I don't think that was going to really work in Pat Nix's offense. Pat Nix is actually going to send in a play and expect Jacory to run it.
Here's Jacory in the shotgun. Miami's first third down play. And that one again knocked down. And the Charleston Southern defense comes up big on a third down stop. And it'll be a decision for Coach Randy Shannon with the ball at the 30-yard line. It would be close to a 47-yard field goal attempt for Matt Bosher. Instead, Coach Shannon keeps the offense on the field.
Well, Randy Shannon's offense last year had the highest percentage on fourth down plays in the ACC. He's rolling the dice again. He's not going to take a Charleston Southern stop lightly. He wants to move downfield for a score.
They were 15 of 24 fourth down conversions in 07. Harris in the shotgun, two receivers right, one left. James in the backfield, and Jacory's going to take off, makes a move, going to have a first down and more across the 10, and a touchdown for the true freshman, Jacory Harris.
Well, there you see the other dimension of Jacory Harris. Yes, he's got a calm, cool, collected style. He delivers the ball, but he also is great on his feet. You know, protection's great, doesn't really break down. Great coverage downfield, puts a move, and it's smooth sailing into the end zone. Jacory Harris for 6.
So the Hurricanes score on their opening drive of the season. Bosher comes in for the point after. The kick is up, and the kick is good. A 30-yard touchdown run for the true freshman quarterback, Jacory Harris. It comes on a 4th and 6 conversion for the Hurricanes. Miami leads 7-0 here at Dolphin Stadium. Miami's starting quarterback Jacory Harris responsible for the first 6 points of the 2008 season on a bit of a gutsy call by Randy Shannon and K.C. Jones. It was a 4th and 6 from the opponent's 30-yard line, and Jacory ended up calling his own number.
Yeah, he dialed his own number there. The protection was there. They had great downfield coverage. Charleston Southern didn't have an option to go downfield, so guess what? He tucks the ball, runs for the 6 yards. Not only the 6 yards, but now the 6 points. Put him on the first blood.
Look at the Buccaneers, number 84, Gerald Stevenson, about to take off the kickoff from Miami's Matt Bosher. Bosher, number 25, going to handle the kickoff duties as well as the place kicking and the punting duties so far at the start of the season. End-over-end kick, and Stevenson from his own 7-yard line across the 20 and hit hard and brought down at the 21. Tackle made by Miami's Romeo Davis, a linebacker on the defense as well.
Now, Romeo Davis is one of these role players. He's a senior. He had a lot of starting experience last year and the year before. Actually, he was out last year, but he comes down, contributes on special teams. Great play by Romeo.
Taking a look at the starters for the Charleston Southern Buccaneers. Offense on the field for the first time this season. And their starting quarterback, Tribble Reese, will wear the number 11, a 6'2" senior who transfers to Charleston Southern out of Clemson University. Starts in the shotgun, completes the first pass at the 20. Some blockers ahead, so a nice gain on first down for the Buccaneers. It's an offense that likes to spread it around, as you see Tribble out of Birmingham, Alabama. And he does have some talent at the wide receiver position to work with as well. Tim Jones, a junior. D. Brown, a senior, the leading returning receiver on this CSU team. A gain of 9 on first down. And Reese will work again out of the shotgun. They run the option, and a pitch just as Reese is hit. And a hard hit. 2 tacklers are there to bring down number 84, Gerald Stevenson. Bruce Johnson, Anthony Reddick out of the Hurricanes secondary.
There you see Charleston Southern. They do a lot of the play development behind the line of scrimmage. They don't really go downfield that much. They actually just make plays behind the line of scrimmage. Try and work a lot of edges, trying to get the defense out of position.
Not sure how much option Tribble Reese was running with the Clemson Tigers football team.
Probably not a lot.
Right, not a lot. It was enough for a first down. There's a handoff and a nice gain on first down. Again, they do it out of the shotgun formation. And And a nice gain on first down for Antoine Ivy out of the backfield. Colin McCarthy there for the Hurricanes. He's the leading returning tackler for Miami at the outside linebacker position. Tribble Reese comes in. Obviously, Clemson ranked nationally in many publications as high as 15 or even above. And they've got a very talented quarterback, Cullen Harper. So Reese transfers away and brings some of that Division I talent to Charleston Southern. 2nd and 3, passes complete on the left side. There's D. Brown for the first time. And close to the first down marker, appears to have enough for the Buccaneers to move the chains. We'll see where the officials spot it.
There you see a great example of what this offense is capable of. They worked the edges, and they got a really good block from Tim Jones, the flanker, on that play. Sprung the receiver for a good gain, and now it's 3rd and short.
Yeah, just short. Brown brought down. You see his numbers, as mentioned last year, all Big South Conference with those statistics. 3rd down and 1. The Buccaneers came up defensively with a big 3rd down stop before the Harris touchdown run on 4th. Here's Miami's defense put to the test. Reese hands off. They test the left side of the line, and it doesn't appear that the Buccaneers are going to have enough. A lot of penetration for the Hurricanes, including out of the secondary, number 29, JoJo Nicholas, the sophomore defensive back.
It's a great stand by this Miami defense, who actually got tested on this first series. You know, opening up at home, there might be a little bit of opening day jitters by this Miami defense, but it's great to see that they actually filled a hole on that play and denied the first down.
Jay Mills, the head coach, going to work the officials as they call timeout to measure. Looks like Charleston Southern might have gotten a generous spot. Nope, a few chain links shy. And so we'll see if Coach Mills calls upon his punter, Andy Brown, with a 4th and inches situation.
It does not look like it. Tribble Reese is back in the huddle, getting his guys going. And it appears that they're going to go for this on 4th down.
A big opportunity for the Charleston Southern offense, 4th and inches, as you see how close they are to that first down.
This is the danger of playing an outmatched opponent. They got nothing to lose. Why wouldn't you go for it on 4th down?
Tribble Reese, 6'2", senior out of Birmingham. Calls his signals with his team lined up. One man in the backfield. Hurricanes crowd the line on defense. Play action. He's looking deep. A man with plenty of coverage, and it's knocked away. Incomplete, as 4 Hurricanes are there, including Bruce Johnson, number 22, and Chavez Grant. So the Hurricane defense holds and gives Harrison, the offense, outstanding field position.
Great field position, but not before a collective gasp by this Dolphin Stadium crowd. You know, it looked like a man was running free there, and we've seen that before in this defensive backfield for Miami. I think they had 7 or 8 different lineups last year. No consistency in the defensive backfield for Miami.
An interesting play call there. Everybody in the stadium and many of you watching, I'm sure, anticipated a running play, and it was a play action. The guy they faked the handoff to had some room to run. The Hurricane defense, in fact, in the secondary, especially KC, not fooled at all.
Not fooled at all. It's a great play, you know, playing Hurricane defense, you know, and that's what you're going to expect from Bill Young. Bill Young is not going to take too many chances. He's not going to show his cards this early in the season, especially with Florida coming up. So basically you're going to run a standard defense, but great stay-at-home play there.
Bill Young, the new defensive coordinator for the University of Miami, comes in. Last year was with Coach Mangini and the Kansas Jayhawks, a team that actually finished their season right here at Dolphin Stadium in the Orange Bowl. An outstanding season for Kansas, and an outstanding first down play on the defense for Charleston Southern, as the stop is made by the linebacker, number 45, David Jackson.
David Jackson came downhill on that play, made a great form tackle. I got to believe that this Charleston Southern team is very well coached. They've been making, fundamentally, I think they're sound, but where you're going to see the deficit is on the talent level and in the speed of the game. They might catch up to him a little bit later.
3 receivers in this formation. Ja'Cory in the shotgun, passes, and it's dropped. Had a man in between 2 defenders, the tight end for the Hurricanes. Epps not able to hang on.
It's David Jackson again making a great play, great coverage. times his pass breakup just in time to break that pass away. And it's a third. This is a situation that they were faced with last year. Third and longer than 10, a third and long. We'll see how Jacory adjusts to this on this play.
Third down and 11. Buccaneers are showing a blitz. They drop off. Harris rolls left. Buying time, finds a man towards the sideline. And close to the first down marker, could be enough, is the veteran wide receiver Khalil Jones, who had an outstanding offseason and vaulted himself to the top of the depth chart.
Khalil Jones, they're expecting big things from him this year, and they need more production out of their wide receivers this year. So he makes a great catch. Hopefully it's enough for a first down. It does move the chains for a Miami Hurricane first down.
Khalil Jones, a senior, also out of Northwestern High School. I'm sure he followed closely as Jacory Harris and the other young guys now wearing orange and green had so much success with those back-to-back state titles. So a fresh set of downs, and Jacory pitches left, and not a lot of room as Javaris James been used exclusively so far. You talk about the strength, Casey, of this Hurricane offense. We've mentioned the inexperience at that integral position of quarterback with Jacory Harris, but there are veterans along the offensive line, and you've got perhaps the best running back tandem in the ACC with Javaris James and Greg Cooper, who we've yet to see this evening.
As bad as Miami's passing offense was last year, they were very, very good on the ground. Third rushing offense in the ACC behind Cooper and James.
Second down and 11. Backs are in the I formation. Harris the handoff. James again darts right and left and moves forward across the 25, close to the 22-yard line. And maybe enough for another Hurricanes first down.
Yeah, James there running behind Chris Rutledge, who is in the game due to the injury to Reggie Youngblood. Reggie Youngblood had a mild concussion. They're keeping him out for this game, hoping to get him back for that very important Florida game up in Gainesville.
Yeah, the Hurricanes fortunate to have a guy in Rutledge, a senior that's flexible and versatile, can play both sides of the line. Javaris gives Miami a first down. We see Jacory Harris out of the shotgun again. Has a man wide open at the 15-yard line, and immediately brought down is Hurricane receiver Leonard Hankerson. Hankerson, a sophomore, 6'3", 215 pounds, and well, you really have to have your roster available if you're a Hurricane fan. Hankerson, of course, a guy that was at the university last year, but we'll see a lot of true freshmen at the position as well, probably this evening, Casey.
Yeah, Eldarius Johnson, keep an eye out for him. He's going to make a great name for himself at the University of Miami, a true freshman again. But he was a leading receiver on his high school football team with 27 receptions, 3 TDs last year.
Canes trying to build upon their 7-0 lead. It's a handoff to Javaris. Javaris met at about the 12-yard line and brought down. Javaris James, a guy that took a step backwards statistically as a sophomore last year, had such an outstanding season as a freshman. In fact, the second best season for a Hurricane freshman, only behind Clinton Portis, now a star running back in the NFL with the Washington Redskins. What was not known throughout the difficulties of his sophomore season, a neck injury Javaris sustained in the opening victory against Marshall.
Yeah, and it definitely slowed him. You could definitely see a difference between his running style in 07 and his breakout season in 06.
Third down and 1. James looking for a hole. Met at the 10-yard line. He's going to have to barrel his way forward, and he shows the strength on that carry. He has been working diligently in the weight room, and it paid off on that third and short.
Yeah, it looks between Greg Cooper and Javaris James, I think they picked up about 10 pounds or 20 pounds of muscle, 10 pounds each. And, that's just a tribute to their work ethic and their dedication in the offseason. This offseason Miami program is great. You actually have guys to go to the pros. They get okayed by their strength coaches to come back to work out with college guys.
And Javaris' cousin Edgerrin factoring prominently in the weight room as Javaris again plunges forward and deservedly so earns the touchdown on the drive. Miami ahead now 14-0 on the strength of junior Javaris James.
Well, in the first series it was all Jacory Harris. This series is all Javaris James. Lowers his head, gets into the end zone. Tell you what, it's going to be a great season if we can keep this up.
Hurricanes up 13-0. Boscher on again to add the point after. 4:29 remains in our first quarter. Boscher's kick is up and it's good. So a Ja'Cory Harris 30-yard touchdown run and a Javaris James 3-yard plunge, showing off his leg strength as the Hurricanes move ahead by a couple touchdowns. Well, the Hurricanes offensively simply overpowered Charleston Southern as Javaris James punctuates the 9-play, 33-yard scoring drive with a 3-yard touchdown run. The Miami Hurricanes leading Charleston Southern 14-0 as Boscher kicks it off. And again, it'll be Stevenson from inside his 10-yard line. Makes a move at the 15, but doesn't get to the 20. The Hurricanes dominating on the special teams. Spencer Atkins among those there for the Hurricanes. So poor field position again to start the drive for the Buccaneers.
Yeah, again, it's Spencer Atkins and Romeo Davis, both seniors on this team, both backing up at the middle linebacker position, but both contributing on special teams.
Well, we mentioned the tandem of Javaris James. We'll see Greg Cooper this evening. And really, KC, not surprising that the Hurricanes physically able to outclass a Division I AA opponent, now called the Football Championship Subdivision in Charleston Southern. And a pass broken up. Bruce Johnson having an outstanding start to his senior season as the starting quarterback for the Hurricanes. Johnson able to bat that pass of Reese down. Take a look at the rest of the starters. The Hurricanes very thin at defensive end this evening, and we'll expound on that a little bit later. Veterans in the middle with Dixon and Joseph. Linebackers, the Hurricanes have a good core this year. Glenn Cook back for his 6th season of eligibility. You see Johnson at one corner, Chavez Grant the other. Anthony Reddick also returns after a disappointing string of injuries the past 2 years for the former freshman All-American. Contact in the backfield, but still on his feet and able to salvage the run for Charleston Southern is Antoine Ivy. He's brought down by the man just mentioned for the Hurricanes in the last drive, JoJo Nicholas, who came up with a big stand, brings down Ivy on that play.
Yeah, again, you see the action behind the line of scrimmage with a shovel pass. And another missed tackle by Colin McCarthy. You expect a little bit better fundamentals from this Miami defense. I think they're still starting a little bit slow on defense. We'll see how they warm up as the game progresses. 3rd
down and 5 for Charleston Southern. Quick pass out of the backfield. It's knocked down, incomplete. Pressure in the backfield is applied for Miami as the pass is batted down by number 90, Stephen Wesley, the starting defensive end.
Now, with so many guys out, Stephen Wesley, a sophomore, unheard of, didn't play much last year. He's got to step up. He runs free, bats the ball down. It's great to see there's developing some sort of depth along the defensive line. It's something they struggled with immensely last year.
Andy Brown into punt for the Buccaneers. Wesley starts at defensive end with injuries and suspensions at that defensive end position. Eric Moncourt, great things expected out of Moncourt. He's out of tonight's game with a leg injury. Also out with injury is Alan Bailey. Courtney Harris gone for the season. Adewale Ojomo is suspended. Punt return opportunity for the Hurricanes on the near sideline, trying to break it upfield, but they say he steps out of bounds for the Hurricanes on the return. Theron Collier showing off his speed.
Well,
We'll bring it back to the 40-yard line of the Hurricanes. Miami trying to build on a 14-0 lead. Miami's lead is 14 over visiting Charleston Southern. Canes on the offense at their 40-yard line with some new faces in the huddle offensively. Travis Benjamin, LaRon Bird at the wide receiver position, and Deron Thomas is in the backfield spelling Javaris James. Zellner in motion, the tight end. Harris rolls right and looks deep for the first time, and he has a man coming back for the ball. It's incomplete as Benjamin, the speedster, unable to connect with Ja'Cory Harris, a couple of true freshmen. Benjamin, the first-year Cane out of Belle Glades and Glades Central High School.
Well, I'm glad to see Pat Nix finally, running some plays to get his quarterbacks, the inexperienced quarterbacks, comfortable. Move Ja'Cory Harris out of the pocket on a bootleg, give him some run, give him a run option, and also, give him the ability to throw the ball downfield. Unfortunately, he threw it a little bit, underthrew it a little bit. Next time, look for that play to be open.
Miami dominating statistically. Over 100 yards of offense as we approach 3 minutes to play in our first quarter. Pitch out right, and there's Duron Thomas. His hands on the pigskin for the first time. And again, an impressive stop on the run defense of Charleston Southern. There to make the tackle, number 2, linebacker Andrew McCain.
Andrew McCain, another transfer from the Air Force Academy. These guys, they might not get an opportunity to play at a Division I school, but these guys are still competitive. They want the time on the field. They decide to transfer, and he's getting plenty of time here at Charleston Southern. Another great stop.
3rd and long, a 3rd and 7 from the Canes 43. Buccaneers come on the blitz. Harris flushed out of the pocket at the line. He gets it off to the tight end. Is open. Zellner puts his helmet forward and drags a defender close to the 20-yard line. Actually, that's the backup tight end for the Hurricanes, Dietrich Epps, the junior, out of Richmond, Virginia.
Well, 2 things great happen on this play. The blitz, the zone blitz by Charleston Southern is picked up by this offensive line. You see Duron Thomas with a nice block on the linebacker. And then Ja'Cory Harris steps up and delivers the football. Something that was lacking last year. There was always going to be a breakdown of something like that last year. It's great to see this offense so early in the season clicking on all cylinders.
Ja'Cory, the 18-year-old true freshman, already with a 30-yard touchdown run on a 4th down play in his first drive, and showing tremendous poise and a great touch running out of the pocket on that one. Harris again delivers, screen set up. There's Thomas. He's got speed to burn across the 15, makes a move across the 5-yard line. Finally brought down inside the 5 as the tackle is made out of the secondary by Jacques Bazile.
Well, it's Pat Nix's job to develop these mismatches. When we see some mismatch on the outside, he's going to slow a little bit of a swing pass, a little bit of screen pass to Duron Thomas, and let Duron Thomas do the work. Great run, hangs on to the football, gets down to the goal line, 1st and goal for Miami offense.
Thomas, soft-spoken 5th-year senior, whenever called upon, does deliver for the Hurricanes. A heady player that has tremendous physical gifts. Sometimes gets buried on the depth chart and in the minds of fans. Penalty flags coming in before the play is called.
Legal substitution. Defense, half the distance to the goal, go 1st down.
And Charleston Southern actually got caught with 12 people in the huddle.
Can you blame them?
I don't blame them. The way this Miami offense is running, they're definitely outmatched. Charleston Southern on the defensive line. They're not as big, not as strong, not as talented. But that's not to say that Miami isn't executing their offense, and that's great to see. That they're able, with a true freshman quarterback, able to execute on offense this early in the season.
Extra tight end in for Miami. Thomas still in the backfield. A quick hitter, right side of the end zone. Man there, and the catch is made for a touchdown for Miami. Leonard Hankerson brings it in.
Well, you want to talk about those mismatches again. Leonard Hankerson, 6'3" sophomore, only had 6 catches last year, but they throw to him on the fade against Philip Ashley. Philip Ashley is only 5'10". There's a little bit of a mismatch. Doesn't even get his head around to see the ball. It's a Miami touchdown. Great execution, great play.
First touchdown pass in the young career of Ja'Cory Harris. A penalty call is made, and they're going to wipe out that touchdown. A very late penalty comes in.
A late penalty. They actually called someone for a illegal man downfield. One of the linemen may have released too fast, but that was such a quick-hitting play. I didn't think there would be an opportunity for anybody to get downfield.
Randy Shannon obviously not pleased, so they'll try again. This is a 1st and goal now from the 7. Harris again going to pass this time to the left side, and it's up for grabs and incomplete as the defensive back is able to keep it out of the reach of Hankerson. They tried the quarterback on the right side successfully, wiped out because of the penalty, and this time they test the cornerback Chris Cusdale, and Cusdale able to get his hand on it.
Again, maybe going to the well one too many times, but the play is there. They're trying to get that mismatch on the edge. I think they might have to run this one in, but it's great to see Pat Nix, if it does work on one side, maybe it'll work on the other side, maybe going back to the same play.
Patrick Nix, second-year offensive coordinator for the Hurricanes. And one thing we have this season, Casey, of course, that we didn't have, the last 71 years of Hurricane football, 2 humongous Jumbotron screens here at Dolphin Stadium. You might have heard the fans react, as we'll have benefit of a replay as well. It appears they're going to review this one. And that's one thing pretty funny, actually, leading into the game, Casey. A lot of these Hurricane players were looking forward to watching replays on the Jumbotron.
Yeah, obviously with a new team, a young team, they don't have the connection, let's say, to the Orange Bowl, to the old stadium that older players like myself and Randy have. But coming into Dolphin Stadium, you should have seen these guys. Their eyes are bright, and the one thing that everybody was talking about all season was seeing the replay on the Jumbotron, and they're getting to see it firsthand tonight. With some great plays, very exciting plays early on in this game.
Well, Ja'Cory Harris has shown a deft touch into the end zone on the last 2 plays. Both times trying to connect with Leonard Hankerson as Jay Mills awaits the call as well. If the fans' reaction was any indication, they may reverse this call. Hankerson is mentioned, a sophomore out of Fort Lauderdale. Let's take another look.
They're trying to see if they do have possession. Doesn't appear he has possession with a foot in bounds. He's hopping on the leg, but he does not appear to look like he would see it again. There he has possession, but I'm not sure the field judge there is blocking the view. Leonard Hankerson's doing his best to hop on one leg and drag that 1 foot. I'm not sure if he's going to get the call.
Credit the cornerback on a physical play. That's a freshman, Chris Cusdale, 5'11", 190 pounds, number 24. There's a long review taking place. Walter Davenport, the referee. We got another angle at it.
Well, the field judge is right there to call the play, and he says he waves him out. But I'm not sure if he saw the possession or if he saw the defender's hand in there covering the ball. I'm not sure what he's thinking on that play, but if not, it's going to be 3rd and goal. And hey, why not, Pat Nix? Throw the fade again. Why not?
KC, a lot of the talk about Ja'Cory Harris, the quarterback, heading into this game as he, along with the rest of us, wait for the final conclusion of this review. A guy that is unfazed by the environment, by a big stadium or a big crowd. After all, a lot of pressure was on Ja'Cory Harris for 4 straight years with a high school program that isn't like most. Let's be honest. Miami Northwestern High and Liberty City is the center of attention in that town, and a team that year after year a perennial contender not only for a state championship but for a national ranking at the top of the charts as well. He did not lose a game in high school, and the transition to college and to Randy Shannon's team has been seamless, at least through the offseason and the first quarter of his first game.
Well, here we get another replay, another look at it. Appears we do have possession and a foot in. Here's a split screen. Possession now and a foot in.
I think you're being a little generous.
Come on.
The other guy, doesn't he have
being a homer?
Doesn't he have equal rights to the football as well with his hand on it?
I say, well, here's
your
the downside of the replay.
A 30-minute review?
Exactly. Let's get on and play football. This actually does take a little bit of momentum away from the Canes offense. Hopefully now we get the final decision.
After review, the receiver came down with the ball, inbounds, touchdown.
I'm right again.
You were right all along. And I'll be honest with you, if not for the video screens here, the scoreboards, and the fans' reaction before the play got off, that might not be a touchdown. And you can understand the frustration of Jay Mills as the Hurricanes add to their lead. And there it is. Harris to Hankerson, Ja'Cory's first touchdown pass. Instead of the fade to the right side, they work it on the following play to the left side. And Bosher's point after puts Miami ahead 21-0. Gerald Stevenson awaits for the Buccaneers. in front of his goal line. Stevenson's been hit hard so far tonight, but he's got room on the left side. Going to be chased down close to the 40-yard line finally for Miami. DeMarcus Van Dyke led the charge on special teams, but a very nice return for the sophomore out of Naples, Florida, one of many Floridians on this Buccaneer roster, Gerald Stevenson.
Yeah, Joe Panunzio, the tight ends coach and special teams coach, can't be pleased with that. It looks like there may have been a breakdown on that right side. But like you said, there's 44 Florida players on this Charleston Southern roster. You know, it's a homecoming of sorts for these guys. And, you know, you almost want to pull for these guys being down 21-0 in the first quarter.
Tribble Reese leading the offense again. The quarterback keeps it, and he's hit hard and knocked down at the 39-yard line. Tackle made for the Hurricanes. Sean Spence, get used to hearing that name, the true freshman, a standout throughout the offseason workouts.
Yeah, Sean Spence, he wasn't, he was a little bit banged up in the in camp this year, but they're expecting huge things out of him. You know, he's another one of these Northwestern Bulls, you know, 8 guys coming over from Northwestern this year. He may turn out to be the best of the bunch.
No gain on the play. 2nd and 10. Miami jumps, and the penalty flag comes down out of the interior of the defensive line. We mentioned Stevenson, one of those Floridians on this Charleston Southern
team. Prior to the
team.
snap, offsides, 99 defense, 5-yard penalty. Go 2nd down.
Jay Mills, the CSU head coach, coming down to the Sunshine State not only this evening to face the Canes, but to recruit as well. There's a breakdown, KC. You wonder what happens to the guys that don't make it to the Miamis and the Floridas out of this fertile ground of talent here in the state of Florida. Well, they end up in places like Charleston, South Carolina.
There's plenty of talent to go around in South Florida.
Penalty against Miami gives a 2nd and 5 situation and a run to the right side. And not a lot of room as the Hurricanes snuffed that one out. Stevenson again, this time at the wide receiver position, running the length of the line of scrimmage, but not picking up a lot north and south.
Yeah, very lucky on that play. It appears that it may have hit him out of bounds, but again, the rest may be a little bit slanted toward this hometown team here at Miami.
A new home for the Hurricanes, but the fans have to be pleased with some old school results. Through one quarter, the Canes 21-0 their lead over Charleston Southern. The Buccaneers of CSU with a 3rd and 3 from their own 47. Tribble Reese, the senior quarterback in the shotgun, running the option, fakes the handoff and passes incomplete. He threw it behind his receiver Stevenson.
Maybe a little bit of miscommunication on that play, but Glenn Cook, tell you what, he got some air on that play. Almost looked like he was about to take that ball out of the air. But it's great to see Glenn Cook coming back for a 6th year after staying out last year with a foot injury. You may have seen Glenn Cook on the sidelines last year. He was actually in a headset helping calling defensive plays for the Miami defense.
Petition for an extra year of eligibility was granted by the NCAA to the good fortune of Cook and this Miami program. Andy Brown, true freshman punter, takes a high snap. Penalty flags are down. Contact almost made as this one bounces towards the 20. Hurricanes going to let it go, but we'll see what the flag is all about. It's interesting, the quarterback Tribble Reese on a 4th down situation, very reluctant to make it back to the CSU sideline where Coach Mills made his decision. They went for it on 4th down earlier, as did the Hurricanes, which resulted in an early touchdown.
Well, hopefully this isn't against the Miami defense. They're waving it off. Well, I was going to say, hopefully it wasn't against the Miami defense. It would have given them 1st down on that play. But the wave off of the play will give Miami decent starting position at the 20-yard line to start another drive. And it's once again Jabari Harris going out to the huddle.
I think the Hurricane program going to be pleased with this crowd here in their inaugural game at Dolphin Stadium. As you look around, A lot of orange shirts blending with the orange seats here as Harris takes a snap out of the shotgun and rolls left towards the sideline, incomplete, looking for junior Sam Shields, and a guy in this Hurricane team, as we see, number 83 into the game, I believe, for one of the few plays. Haven't seen him much in the first quarter. Shields, a guy that has been in the notorious doghouse, to be blunt, of Coach Shannon over the last year plus.
Yeah, one thing you'll notice about Randy Shannon is he's got a long memory, and if you were in his doghouse once, you might stay there quite a while. Sam Shields relegated to a backup role behind Khalil Jones and Travis Benjamin. Hopefully he can work his way up to the starting lineup along the season.
Well, he certainly has competition with those young Canes this year. Run up the middle, and again, strength is shown. This time, Greg Cooper, as you hear the fans here, the chorus of hoop, hoop, raining down on the talented sophomore tailback.
Yeah, Coop had a great year. It was a nice change-up from Javaris James last year, but had a great season last year out of Memphis, Tennessee. There you see 125 rushes for 682 yards. But having a stable in the backfield, you got Chambray McNeil, you got Jerron Thomas on top of Greg Cooper and Javaris James. It's going to lighten the load for everybody and keep them healthy.
Jacory looking to pass on first down, and he has time. Fires deep left sideline. A couple of defenders are there. The coverage is all over the Hurricanes as the pass intended on the left sideline for the wide receiver, Theron Collier.
Well, I think all the pregame jitters should be out by now. You see maybe the youth in Jacory Harris now not able to get that ball in where he wants it to be. But it's a learning process for all of these newcomers as well as the veterans to be working with each other, and to know where they're going to be on the field each and every play.
Jacory remains in the shotgun. Two receivers left. And that's where the pass is thrown out of the backfield. Once again, it's Collier, the true freshman. After the last pass was thrown over his head, a quick completion on the left side, enabling Collier to use his speed, and that's something you hear Patrick Nix and Randy Shannon say about the young quarterbacks, Jacory and Robert Marv, who we'll see next week in Gainesville. Just get the ball into the hands of your talented speedsters at the skills position.
Yeah, with this Pat Nix offense, you want guys to manage the game. They not necessarily have to make the big play. They want to manage the game and get the ball to their playmakers, and I think Jacory Harris and Robert Marv are both comfortable in doing that.
Backs in the staggered eye, dancing in the backfield, and dragged down. Going to be a loss on the play on a third down stop for the Buccaneers defensively. A big stand, the tackle made by Matt Bach.
Well, that play didn't seem to develop the right way. It seemed like there was penetration in the Miami backfield, and Coop had to dart and dive as soon as he got the handoff. I think maybe that the Charleston Southern defense is waking up a bit.
After 3 touchdown drives in the first quarter, Charleston Southern defense with a hold on the Canes' first series of the second, and a high booming punt. Fair catch is called. The ball is loose. It's fumbled. It's on the ground. Philip Ashley could not hang on, and the Hurricanes come up with it. The first turnover of the game goes towards Miami. And what a punt to start it off for the sophomore Matt Bosher. The call has been made, and we'll see if the officials try to peel away the players, as Philip Ashley for Charleston Southern on the bottom of the pile.
JoJo Nicholas, I think he's calling it right. You think it's going to be Miami ball, but many times you see it looks like Ryan Hill. Ryan Hill comes up with it, but many times you'll see on coverage on the punts, there's a halo rule where the coverage can't interfere with the catch of the ball, but that not necessarily keeps them from distracting the receiver. And on this play, he's definitely distracted. Ryan Hill's great, wrestles the ball away and comes up with the first big play on special teams for this Miami special teams unit.
It's about where the right fielder plays defense in the major league games here involving the Florida Marlins, and bright lights in the big city as Philip Ashley fumbles the fair catch opportunity. Ryan Hill with the superlative play on special teams, going to give the Hurricane offense outstanding field position. They'll take over 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line, leading 21-0. Well, Miami with excellent field position. The Canes at the Buccaneers' 14-yard line after the first turnover of the evening. It comes on special teams. The fumbled punt return by Philip Ashley. A play action. Harrison in the end zone. It is going to be called incomplete and perhaps out of bounds, as once again he looks in the direction of Theron Collier.
Attacking style of offense. Pat Nix goes downtown again. Looks like he rolls the quarterback out, rolls Jacory out. Great touch on the ball. Just comes up a little bit short. Didn't have possession coming down.
Collier, number 28, 5'8", 180-pound true freshman out of Miami's Booker T. Washington High School. Brings up a 2nd and 10. We've seen Jacory almost exclusively out of the shotgun tonight. Handoff up the middle. Cooper virtually untouched for a Hurricane touchdown.
Well, he's running right behind the meat of that offensive line. Orlando Franklin, 6'7", 334. Xavier Shannon, 6'1", 302. And Joel Figueroa, Big Figs at 6'5", 344. These guys are big enough just to engulf the defensive lineman. Working out of the shotgun, hands it off, and he's untouched into the end zone, running behind that great up Miami offensive line. Interior of the offensive line is definitely shored up behind Xavier Shannon.
Casey, dare I say, even you with your rebuilt knees as a former lineman might have taken that one into pay dirt.
The $1 million knee. I think it could probably have strolled right through there.
Greg Cooper and the Hurricanes take advantage of the turnover on special teams. Miami in control, a 28-0 lead over the Buccaneers.
Due to time constraints, we now move forward in the action.
Harris again on the move. A high pass that he gets rid of out of bounds, and they say he was out of the pocket outside of the hash mark, so no penalty flag. It simply brings up a 3rd down and close to 9 yards.
Yeah, getting back to the offensive line, they had Rockford in at center last year. It was a deep snapper, converted to center, did an outstanding job, but he was out of position. He got away with a lot of things on his athletic ability alone. He was a little bit lighter, but I think that Xavier Shannon, his maturity, the guy's already started, I think, 32 games at FIU. Coming into this Miami offensive line, is able to bring that maturity, that experience, and shore up this Miami offensive line to where they're going to be able to compete with, I think, any defensive line in the country.
Jacory very dangerously holding that football out. That's something he might have gotten away with at Northwestern High School, but the defense awaiting him there to stop the Canes on 3rd down. So Matt Bosher into punt. And among those credited with the tackle for Charleston Southern is Ryan Ard, the defensive lineman, a converted tight end. And dangerous play for the quarterback Harris.
Very dangerous. Dangerous on a lot of things. You got to take care of the ball, and also you got to take care of your body a little bit better. I think those are things that I think Jacory Harris is going to learn after getting knocked around a little bit. Hopefully he'll be able to survive it and come out injury-free.
This time a fair catch is made by Marcus Murray after the recent fumble led to a touchdown by Philip Ashley. Leading the offense back on the field, number 11, Tribble Reese, senior quarterback out of Birmingham, Alabama, transfer from the Clemson Tigers program, deep in his own territory at the 15-yard line. Send a man in motion and a handoff. Right side of the line and maybe 1 yard on the carry. First-year defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes is Bill Young. Comes in from Kansas with a lot of experience under his belt. It's the 3rd different defensive coordinator for Miami in 3 successive seasons, starting with Randy Shannon, of course, who makes the move to head coach. What can the Hurricanes expect offensively with the new philosophy of Bill Young?
Well, I think with Bill Young, he brings in 39 years of coaching experience. I think that's going to affect everything they do on defense. You look at Charleston Southern, a mere 45 yards on offense right now. But you're going to still see that attacking style of defense that everybody has become fans of with the University of Miami defense. But you're also going to see some things that you may not have seen the last 3 years, like zone blitzes, maybe being a little bit more aggressive in situations where, they may have laid back years ago. They're also going to disguise and mix up coverages, which is something that, a lot of teams have taken advantage of in the past couple of years. Miami always running a 2 deep or cover 2 defense. And, not having the athletes, not having the consistency in the defensive backfield have been exposed over the last couple of years.
39 years of coaching experience. Bill Young, 21 seasons as a defensive coordinator. And talk about all the fine recruits for Randy Shannon as you see the defense come up big once again. Second time Spencer Atkins gets into the backfield. The sack of Tribble Reese and a big loss. Talk about all the fine recruits. Perhaps Bill Young, the finest recruit for Randy Shannon to bring in the new defensive coordinator. Going to bring up a 4th down, and as the clock winds down, we'll see what happens. 22, 21, 20 seconds remains as you see Atkins come from the backside.
No, and a great move. You're used to seeing Spencer Atkins playing outside linebacker, inside linebacker. Here he goes with the club move again, and is athletic to drop his hips and get under the offensive lineman's pads, rip his arm in there. He's got a straight shot to the quarterback. Great move, and you're seeing Spencer Atkins developing into, has 2 sacks tonight, developing into a great pass rush talent.
Coming from the outside, already doubling up his sack total from a year ago. So with that sack, our first half comes to an end. A historic night here. The Hurricanes' first night at home at Dolphin Stadium, and a big lead at the break. Matt Bosher gets set to kick it off and open up our second half of play. Gerald Stevenson, the return man, from his own 10 across the 20-yard line, close to the 24. Over near the sideline, the special teams is there for the Hurricanes as the defense takes the field. Well, in the first half, we mentioned the success of the Hurricanes starting quarterback, Ja'Cory Harris. Not necessarily as much success for the senior quarterback and the first-time starter for Charleston Southern, transfer from Clemson. As the quarterback, Tribble Reese, just 5 of 11 with his passing, 23 yards against this Hurricane defense.
Okay, he's had a tough time. He's been under pressure almost entire night. See if he can get something started in the second half.
And there's his 6th completion, but it won't go for a lot of yardage. As this is pretty much what we expected. Tim Jones, the receiver, brought down. This is a pass-oriented offense of the Charleston Southern Buccaneers, but not one that particularly looks downfield that often.
No, they don't force the ball downfield. They try and catch an edge outside. Like I said before, they're going to throw a lot of passes, lateral passes to the outside, which is something that works well in their conference, in the Big South Conference. But with the University of Miami team speed, they're not able to turn that edge and get upfield.
We've seen the quarterback Reese out of the shotgun throughout the night, and Miami absolutely knew that one was coming. Again, middle linebacker Glenn Cook leading the charge. Well,
just as I said in the first half, I didn't think that new defensive coordinator Bill Young was going to show that much, but in that play, they send Glenn Cook through the middle on a blitz. They actually do a twist blitz, and he comes inside, is able to fight off the blocker. Great job there. And I tell you what, this Miami defense is much improved with one Glenn Cook back in the middle.
Antoine Ivy brought down for a loss. It's a 3rd and 9 for the Buccaneers. Rolling left, pass is incomplete, and a hard hit at the 40-yard line. Chavez Grant with a vicious blow to bring down the intended receiver.
Yeah, Chavez Grant, even though the ball is overthrown, he still puts his head down and lays the wood. And that's what you come to expect from this University of Miami defense. They're going to intimidate you with big hits and big plays. This is something that was definitely lacking last year. It's great to see the excitement coming back to this defense.
It's actually 26, not 24. So the safety Anthony Reddick with a big hit in the secondary. Reddick, a senior, returning for the Hurricanes. Andy Brown's punt to Greg Cooper at his 35 and has some room across the 40. Breaks it upfield across the 50. The 30. One man to beat. Forget about it. Greg Cooper, his 2nd touchdown of the night for Miami.
I tell you, a great run. 65 yards into the touchdown. The student section's going wild. But I tell you what, the big hit that sprung Cooper on that play was laid by Colin McCarthy, number 44. And the whole crowd heard it. It was a great play. You could see it set up from the start. Joe Panunzio, the special teams coach, drills this every day in practice. Great block again by by Ryan Hill there again, but then you see the big block by number 44, Colin McCarthy. I tell you what, the whole stadium saw it, and you could hear it all the way up here.
Miami did not have a return for a touchdown all of last year, kick return or punt return. This is a Hurricane program used to the likes of Roscoe Parrish and Devin Hester, of course, one of the premier return men in the NFL. So Greg Cooper brings that flashback, and you knew once he had some room to operate, it was a foregone conclusion. Well, 66 yards on the touchdown.
Yeah, he's got world-class speed, and I tell you what, if anybody can get a replay of that block by Colin McCarthy, the whole stadium lit up with that. And that's the second special teams block that he's laid down. He also had one on the sideline before. And I tell you what, it's great to see, guys contributing. He's a starter on the defense, but he's also contributing on special teams. Unselfish player, making big plays.
Matt Bosher able to convert the point after off of the infield dirt. And Miami's lead is now 35-0, and there is 44 Colin McCarthy playing some big-time football on the special teams, paving the way for Greg Cooper. The Hurricanes on the scoreboard again early in the second half.
Due to time constraints, we now move forward in the action.
As Reese, the quarterback, throws off his back foot, overthrows the intended receiver. Coverage provided out of the secondary by Miami's JoJo Nicholas, as that pass was intended for Tim Jones, the junior receiver out of Townville, South Carolina. Nicholas, the starter, a sophomore at safety. Miami playing without Randy Phillips, who may be back in the starting lineup against the Gators next week. Phillips, one of those 7 canes suspended for tonight's opener. See what Jones was able to do as a sophomore last year, a transfer out of Hargrave Military Academy, a guy that started at quarterback in high school. Under 9 minutes to play in our third quarter. Whistles on the field as that play does not get off.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 66, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So left tackle for the Buccaneers, Donald Fondren, redshirt senior, and another Floridian recruited by Jay Mills to Charleston Southern. There you see a guy that has been described as a brilliant offensive mind, had success prior to his head coaching stint here with Charleston Southern. Some moves on the left sideline. Nicholas over there for the Hurricanes to make the tackle. As the ball carrier for Charleston Southern, number 33, Sam Baptiste. Talk about Mills, who has had success at Harvard, also as an offensive coach at Boise State. We've seen what Boise State has done with their creative offense. Mills, one of the forefathers to that in recent years. Yeah,
he coached the quarterbacks and was also the offensive coordinator. And you're seeing a little bit of a mix of it here. But the difference between Charleston Southern and Boise State is obviously the talent on the field. You're not seeing the same players on the field, but this is a great swing pass right now.
One of the few times we've seen Tribble Reese connect with their star wide receiver, D. Brown, the senior out of Whiteville, North Carolina, who had 9 touchdowns last year. Reese led them just enough as the Buccaneers, with a rare first down, able to move the chains. You talk about the head coach, Jay Mills, who served as the Harvard quarterbacks coach and offensive coordinator for 7 seasons. KC, he can have an appreciation for his starting quarterback tonight, Tribble Reese, who scored a 13-20 on his SAT.
Very good. Very good.
Just beating out the likes of my broadcast partner back in the study halls. Tribble Reese transferring from Clemson. Again, the Tigers and Coach Bowden expected to have a very strong season in the ACC. Out of the Atlantic Division, expected to contend for the ACC championship as they've got Cullen Harper, their star quarterback. Man injured for Charleston Southern on the offensive line is Jordan Lancaster, being helped off the field. Coach Mills looks on his team with a 2nd and 6 in Hurricane territory for one of the few times tonight.
Glenn Cook on that last play, actually a couple plays ago, was shaken up. Looks like he's ready to go back in, but he just felt really awkward on his shoulder. You saw the trainers on the sideline pulling on his shoulder. It looked like maybe maybe a stinger situation, but he looks like he's ready to go back in.
There is experience behind Cook. In fact, Romeo Davis hit on that tackle on the ball carrier, Antoine Ivy. Davis, like Cook, is a senior. And Romeo Davis, another Cane out of Northwestern High School. Romeo injured much of the 07 campaign, contributed only 2 tackles. 3rd down and 4 from the Miami 46. The 1 third down conversion so far tonight. Here comes the Canes on a blitz. Blocked well. Pass is complete at the 20, the 15. Ryan Hill, the defender, there to bring down the man inside the 10-yard line. And again, out of the backfield, Antoine Ivy, a big 3rd down conversion and then some. Credit the Buccaneers offensive line for picking up the blitz and giving Reese time to hook up with his receiver, Ivy.
And credit Tribble Reese for sticking in there. He actually got plowed under by Daryl Sharpton and Romeo Davis both. But it looked like JoJo Nicholas got a little bit turned around on the coverage, wasn't aware where the ball was. And Ryan Hill, coming over late in coverage, was able to make the play and save the touchdown.
So now the Hurricane fans in the end zone trying to make some noise and keep the Buccaneers out of the end zone as Tribble Reese, the quarterback, calls his own number and is brought down by Sean Spence.
And Sean Spence a little bit late, making Randy Shannon and Bill Young a little bit nervous on that option. You see he has a responsibility as the quarterback on that play. Outside linebacker Colin McCarthy takes the pitch man, but Sean Spence a little bit late on the quarterback, able to get up there for a couple-yard gain.
2nd down and goal from the 4. Reese in the shotgun again. Passes incomplete. Glenn Cook back in the game, going to be called for pass interference. You could see that arm out just a little bit early on the receiver.
I don't think Glenn Cook did himself any favors by grabbing a handful of jersey,
Pass
pulling himself over the top.
Defense number 3. It's a spot foul. Automatic 1st down.
They're going to be 1st and goal. Looks like on the 2-yard line. You'll see the cross here, and he's all over him. It's an easy call for any official to make there. But in that situation where you are beaten and there's a touchdown at stake, you'd rather give them a 1st and goal than the easy touchdown.
And got in early on the tight end. One of the few times we've seen the tight end involved. Clayton Kaufman. Did not appear to be a catchable ball, but pass interference against Miami and a 1st down and goal now from the 2. And again, Miami called for a penalty unless there was early movement on the Buccaneers offensive line. Hurricanes jumped a little bit early.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense number 66, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
Yeah, poor Donald Foundern. This is his 2nd illegal procedure penalty on this drive. He's been stymieing this Charleston Southern offense, but this is a situation where it may be a little bit louder than what Charleston Southern's used to in this end zone. The Miami Hurricane fans on their feet, cheering their defense on. They want to preserve this shutout.
Loss of 5 yards on the penalty. 1st and goal from the 7. Reese again on his feet, and he is hit once but stays on his feet and spins his way towards the goal line. Miami looking for the big hit, not wrapping up the quarterback.
Yeah, Tribble Reese, he's running for his life out there, but Sharpton had a shot on him, and also Romeo Davis coming downhill. He's got the pitch man, he's open, turns upfield. Sharpton looking for the big hit, does not wrap up, and Tribble Reese actually leans forward very close to the touchdown. Oh, big hit, but you got to wrap up. It's going to drive Randy Shannon and Bill Young crazy in film tomorrow.
2nd and goal now from the 2. Reese showing a lot of courage in the pocket. 6'2", 215 pounds, runs the option, and the pitch to DeMarcus Moon out of the backfield is tackled by Nicholas. JoJo Nicholas, the sophomore safety out of Homestead. Playing well for the Hurricanes tonight.
Yeah, I think they're going to the well one too many times here. Tribble Reese with the pitch, and barely hangs onto the ball. DeMarcus Moon is very lucky he didn't fumble that ball out of the end zone, getting the ball back to Miami on the 20.
We talked about crowd noise here. It was one of the big questions coming into Dolphin Stadium is what would the atmosphere be like? Well, a lot of fans making a lot of noise, making life difficult for Tribble Reese.
Yeah, and I don't think at the level of play of Charleston Southern, I think they're used to crowd noise, to tell you the truth. Now he drops back, looking for someone in the back of the end zone.
He gets rid of it at the last second and somehow pulls out a touchdown from his bag of tricks. How in the world did Tribble Reese stay on his feet long enough? An incredible touchdown and a big boost for Charleston Southern as we take another look.
There's a situation where they fake the option. He's looking to the back of the end zone. He's getting pressured by Joe Joseph and just heaves up a prayer. And Charleston Southern's on the board. No shutout for this home opener at Dolphin Stadium.
The tight end Tyrese Harris, the backup junior out of Georgia. And the quarterback Tribble Reese, as he was being chased down by Joe Joseph, puts the Buccaneers on the board. So a moral victory at the very least, and a long drive went more than 10 plays, capped off by this fine play by the Buccaneers quarterback. The sophomore out of Ocala towards the sideline, going to be a penalty against Charleston Southern. No opportunity for a return for Ryan Hill. Miami instead will take over with decent field position after a long drive for the Buccaneers that went to 66 yards, highlighted by a big pass play, 39 yards out of the backfield to Antoine Ivy. That set up some plays inside the 10-yard line. And Tribble Reese, the quarterback, responsible for 4 consecutive completions on his last 4 passes, 55 yards on the drive. And Tribble Reese, who makes the move from Clemson to Charleston Southern, a guy that played 2 games for the Tigers a couple years ago, has already graduated, now working on his master's in business and getting some tutelage on the sideline from a brilliant offensive mind and their head coach, Jay Mills. So a well-orchestrated drive for Charleston Southern, and the Hurricanes back on the field offensively with a 35-7 lead, and Ja'Cory Harris keeps the football, has a man open, and Aldarius Johnson shows off his talents, brought down after a first down.
Again with the play action, you got Ja'Cory Harris under center, rolls out to his left. It's got to be a hard throw, but he looks very comfortable. He's on the money. Aldarius Johnson's able to make a little bit of a move. Here you see him wrangle the ball in, shed one tackler, make another move, but the defender behind him sucks him up. But, you know, it's good to see Ja'Cory Harris under center and still looks comfortable on the move.
Ja'Cory Harris and Aldarius Johnson hooked up in high school for Northwestern. Certainly familiar with each other. Greg Cooper keeps it on the ground. Ja'Cory has a bevy of talented wide receivers at his disposal. Aldarius Johnson, one of the more impressive newcomers to Coral Gables. 6'2", 217 pounds. As Cooper a little bit slow on his feet back to the sideline.
Yeah, with so many young guys, you know, the future is bright. You know, I know Hurricane fans are, of course, very impatient. It's going to take some time for these guys to catch on and develop into their full potential. But the future is bright with all these young players.
With Cooper out of the game, it'll be Deron Thomas on the field. Javaris James, the starting running back. A very strong start to his junior season. And he was responsible for the 2nd touchdown of the night. And a workhorse early on the first few drives for Miami. Gives way to the senior Deron Thomas.
Deron Thomas was a little bit banged up in camp as well. He had a little bit of a chest injury. Cook took him out of practice for a couple days, but it's good to see him come back healthy. But you can't say enough about having a healthy group of running backs at your disposal.
A brilliant pass by Ja'Cory Harris, rolling to his right on the money, and Theron Collier, the wide receiver, brings it in over on the sideline. And coverage was there, provided by Chris Cusdale, and Ja'Cory Harris seems to be a lot more comfortable throwing on the move than he does dropping back in the pocket.
Yes, he is, and a smooth delivery right over the defender's head, over Philip Ashley's head. Hauls it in, puts it in a place where no defender has a chance, but the receivers are able to haul it in.
True freshman, 18 years old. Ja'Cory Harris leading the offense down the field once again. Couple backs in there, including the fullback. On the infield dirt, some stutter moves, and still on his feet inside the 10. Deron Thomas finally pushed out of bounds close to the 5-yard line. Some strong running, good for 16 yards, Deron Thomas.
And now you're seeing this big physical offensive line from University of Miami. See a good double team by Fox there, by Jason Fox, and then the rest is all Deron. You know, with the stiff arm, you know, I know Tommy Robinson, the running backs coach for Miami, he has a drill every day in practice where they're going to run and they're actually stiff arming each other, trying to get extra yards. So it looks like that drill is paying off.
Thick legs, good leg strength. Deron Thomas, 5'9", 205 pounds, able to churn it on the offense. He gets it again to the right side, breaks it upfield into the end zone for a touchdown. The second of his career, his first since 2006.
Great blocking up front, and it's good to see Richard Gordon at tight end throws a key block on that play. Actually takes the defensive end all the way off of our screen, and opens that hole for Deron Thomas, who's the workhorse on that drive.
Deron Thomas, now 22 years old, highly recruited out of high school in Louisiana. Bypassed some opportunities. LSU recruited him. Colorado, Nebraska, Florida State, Oklahoma State. Says no regrets, even though he had a chance to win a championship with LSU. He's happy here in his new home in South Florida. Second career touchdown. Deron Thomas puts the Canes up 42-7 is our score here inside a minute to play in Dolphin Stadium. And again, the offensive line and the tight end Gordon giving him some room to run.
Yeah, they're actually taking control of this game now. It was an excellent drive. Did most of it, actually almost all of it on the ground there. Deron Thomas was definitely the workhorse, but you see the tempo of the game being controlled by Pat Nix's offense, and that's what you like to see.
Matt Bosher kicks it off for the Hurricanes. End-over-end kick for Gerald Stevenson on the 7-yard line. Wrapped up across the 20 and brought down. Gerald Stevenson, a sophomore out of Naples. Deron Thomas providing Miami's fourth rushing touchdown of the night from 5 yards out, capping off a 6-play, 60-yard drive. Greg Cooper, Jabbar Shames, and the quarterback Ja'Cory Harris have also run the football into the end zone. Nice to see Miami respond after giving up the first 7 points of the night to the Bucs.
Yeah, it is nice to see, but the game is 4 quarters long, and I think a couple of the guys after that first scoring drive forgot. And Charleston Southern, you got to take your hats off to them. These guys are competitors. You know how big these games are. Not only monetarily, but the pride of this team is it's definitely important to the pride of this team to come out here, especially so many kids from South Florida, and have a good performance.
Miami's defensive line leading the charge, the big guy on the defensive line, the tackle number 96, Antonio Dixon. A loss on the play. Dixon in much better shape than he was last year. In fact, it was some poor conditioning that caused him to lose out on a lot of playing time. So big 96 Antonio Dixon, big things expected out of him with the increase in stamina this season.
Yeah, Antonio Dixon, struggled last year with his weight and also struggled with injuries. And when you're out of shape, it's really tough to overcome those little nagging injuries. Andrew Swayze, the strength coach for University of Miami, has done a phenomenal job. I know that everybody's been pleased with Andrew Swayze's job with the strength and conditioning program, but I think Antonio Dixon, he's a prime example of how guys, their training is so important to them. They can be out there on the field injury-free and have a great performance.
Our fourth quarter of play about to get started here at Dolphin Stadium, the opener of the college football season. The Hurricanes up 42-7 over Charleston Southern. Buccaneers on the offense, a handoff before a collision in the backfield with the quarterback Reese. Going to be a gain of maybe 3 yards to get to the original line of scrimmage. Charleston Southern, a school you may not be all that familiar with. Last season, playing out of Football Championship Subdivision, formerly known as Division I AA, struggled to a 5-6 season under head coach Jay Mills, who does have a Big South Conference Championship under his belt. Just 1-3 in the conference last year. A small school out of Charleston, South Carolina, with an enrollment of under 3,300. You've seen their struggles on third down. Pressure in the backfield. Reese gets out of the pocket, throws, almost intercepted. Sean Spence, closest man to the football, able to knock it down.
Yeah, pressure being applied by Daryl Sharpton off the edge, but the ball's right. It's thrown right to Sean Spence. He's got a knack. He's got a nose for the ball, but he's unable to haul that ball in. Steve Wesley also applying pressure. It seems like he almost had that sack, but Tribble was able to step up and get rid of the ball just in time.
Reese back to the sidelines, and the punter, Andy Brown, back onto the field. Stephen Wesley applying the pressure as the defensive end. You wonder if in Gainesville he'll watch some more from the sidelines as the Hurricanes anticipate the return, much needed, of Eric Moncourt, who continues to recover from off-season surgery.
False start. 45 for the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Hurricanes playing without Moncourt tonight, also without Alan Bailey. Courtney Harris, as mentioned, out for the season. Adewale Ojomo suspended. And who can forget Calais Campbell deciding to forego his senior season, drafted in the NFL, a second-round pick of the Arizona Cardinals. He, too, will be sorely missed.
Sorely missed. He was a great competitor. Didn't have the senior year that everybody anticipated him having, but still was drafted in the second round by Arizona. And we all at the Hurricane family wish him all the best. A long, long career.
Well, the Buccaneers avoiding any kind of punt return as Greg Cooper, watching from the sidelines, gives way to Theron Collier. No chance for a return, so the Hurricanes will take over again. First down, great field position as well. Great experience for Ja'Cory Harris. First-year Hurricane pitches out to the left side, running with the football for the Hurricanes. Lee Chambers into the game for the first time. Talk about Ja'Cory Harris, KC. It's already been announced by Coach Randy Shannon that he will back up the announced starter Robert Marve after tonight's game as the Hurricanes head on the road to Gainesville to take on the Gators. But Ja'Cory Harris, you will see him, and you will see plenty of him, as Coach Shannon plans on alternating the two quarterbacks as per design.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. Randy did announce that Marve was the starter, and he will start up in Gainesville against the Gators. But I feel that this competition between Ja'Cory Harris and Robert Marve is going to continue for the next 4 years. I mean, these guys are very competitive. I don't think either one wants to take a back seat to the other. It is a friendly competition. They are friends off the field. They hang out. They're only they only give compliments to each other. But these guys are going to be going back and forth. They're going to be trading blows for the rest of their careers here at Miami.
3rd down and 1. Backs are in the I formation, and enough room for a first down run for the Hurricanes. And a chance to mention another new wrinkle in this offense this year is the implementation of the fullback position, something that was not heavily involved in recent years. The Hurricanes went out and recruited very hard and brought in the likes of fullback Patrick Hill out of California and a sophomore John Calhoun to back him up as well.
Yeah, and Tommy Robinson, the running backs coach, who coaches both of these guys, says they both bring an immediate sense of toughness to this offense. These guys aren't going to get too many touches with the ball. They might get a swing pass out of the backfield, but they're in there almost as a sixth lineman to lower the boom on linebackers and to push guys around.
Lee Chambers again, the redshirt freshman out of Coffeyville, Mississippi. 5'10", 190 pounds, tripped up. Gain of 6 on that first-yard carry for Chambers. Again, you'd have to say to this point, Ja'Cory Harris a passing grade, really with flying colors to this point. Picking up this offensive Patrick Nix, obviously very quickly, a guy that it doesn't necessarily just come to, but a guy that has spent some long hours, as you might imagine, studying that playbook, oftentimes into the wee hours of the morning. And here's a look at LaRon Bird, another one of those standouts during the preseason practices. And you take a look at that familiar number 47 with the 8-yard reception, a number once worn by the great Michael Irvin.
Yeah, it's signs of Michael Irvin is still alive here in South Florida. But getting back to Ja'Cory Harris, what you see right here, it doesn't just automatically happen through talent. You know, there's hours and hours of film study, of coaching, of going through repetitions. You know, what the fans, you know, might not see is the hard work that Ja'Cory Harris, you know, and the entire, Miami Hurricane team have been putting in the offseason. You know, one thing that Randy brought out at the beginning of the season or the beginning of camp was bracelets for everybody to wear that has no excuses. And I don't think this team is going to be satisfied with, with a 4-game slide at the end of the season or going 5-7. You know, with the recruiting that they've done in South Florida, they brought in guys that were winners. They brought in a nucleus of guys from Northwestern who aren't used to losing. And what Randy and the entire coaching staff hopes is that that attitude is infectious, and other teammates, other players on the team respond to that.
2nd down and 4 from the Charleston Southern 17. A swing pass to the left side. Pass is completed for Miami to number 38, Kendall Tompkins, young receiver. You mentioned the Northwestern Bulls, 7 of them, including Ja'Cory Harris, recruited here to the University of Miami. You've got Marcus Fortson, Aldarius Johnson, Sean Spence among those contributing right away to this Hurricane team and providing depth on both sides of the football. These are guys that are not used to losing football games. It should be noted that Randy Shannon went out, not only recruited talented players, as you would imagine, but he recruited tough-minded winners, guys that had a lot of success at the high school level. Pitch out again to the left side. Chambers brought down by a few Buccaneer defenders.
This is a play we've seen in practice with the University of Miami. It's almost like a student body left, where they actually pull all 3 inside linemen, come down with the tackle, and they're looking to turn that edge. And on that play, they finally were able to do it. It's one of these plays that takes a lot of timing, and you saw it fail a lot in practice. But I think that the University of Miami offense in this game has got the timing of that play down finally.
You saw the injured defender Kamalu Umu out of the state of Hawaii making his way gingerly back to the sideline. It was a game in Hawaii last year. The Buccaneers traveled a lot of miles to play against the Warriors, a team that had a phenomenal season, ending up in the Sugar Bowl. And obviously the head coach for Charleston Southern, Jay Mills, not only partaking in a football game and a luau, but doing some recruiting out there as well. Sure.
I think all these coaches, on any level, they're going to take advantage of anywhere they go, no matter where they're playing in America. There's kids that are overlooked by 1A teams that could offer a lot to a team in Charleston Southern.
Harris into the end zone, deflected, but still nearly caught in the back of the end zone. Unable to come up with it for the Hurricanes is Kendall Tompkins, as that one was deflected. So we'll see Matt Bosher onto the field for the first time to attempt a field goal, as the Hurricanes offense unable to convert that drive into 6 points. We'll see Bosher, the sophomore, again handling the punting and kicking duties at the start of the season, if he can add some points as well. It'll be an attempt from 22 yards from the left hash mark. Snapper is Jake Byrne. The holder is the 5th-year quarterback Matt Pirelli, and the kick is up, and it's good. So Matt Bosher into the scoring book as well, with 8:43 to play here in regulation. It's all Miami, 45-7 our score.
Due to time constraints, we now move forward in the action.
Trying to come up with a football and create a return is Travis Benjamin, and you see some of the moves that made him such a standout, sensational prep star. A short punt, 39 yards. And Miami again going to take over on offense. A 45-7 score here. The inaugural game at Dolphin Stadium has the Hurricanes in control. Well, announced just a few days ago that good news, bad news. Robert Marve, you beat out Ja'Cory Harris and won the starting job at quarterback for the Hurricanes. Bad news, you won't get that first start in the opener against Charleston Southern, creating some stir and controversy, at least among the fans. But head coach Randy Shannon said these guys, they signed their names to a contract. There are rules. This is the policy. If you break the rules, you suffer the consequences. And you got to be consistent with it, whether it's a quarterback or a backup offensive lineman. That being said, while Charleston Southern gets ready to take on the likes of North Greenville and Gardner-Webb later this season, Robert Marve is going to prepare for his first game as a collegiate player in the Swamp against the Florida Gators. Talking about quarterbacks, we'll see for the first time another talented recruit, Cannon Smith, in to take over the Hurricanes offense. So Robert Marve, obviously he's had a long offseason to prepare for the Florida Gators, but it's right around the corner as Urban Meyer's team, ranked as high as number 5 in the preseason polls. They'll open up against Hawaii and then back home for that rivalry game. You don't see it every year, but it's going to be much anticipated and a lot of excitement up there in Gainesville right around the corner.
I think it's going to be a great game, just beside the fact that there's so many kids that actually played against each other in high school. They all know each other. I'm sure they're all, going to be leaving each other messages during the game, amping this game up. It doesn't need to be amped up too much, but, Robert Marve, he understands what the policies are for the team. It was unfortunate what happened 10 months ago. And again, it was probably the best day of his life, his young career, best day of his young career here in Miami, and also the worst, being told, yes, you are the starter, you're getting the starting nod. You beat out, a very talented Ja'Cory Harris at quarterback, but you're not going to get to start, against Charleston Southern. You're going to have to wait to make your debut at the Swamp, and it's going to be tough sledding. But I think Randy, he's very comfortable with, the rules he's put in place, and he's not going to break them for anybody, regardless of what position it puts the team in going forward.
Timeout is called on the field. 4:28 remains. Canes up 45-7. Getting our first look on this Hurricane drive of quarterback Cannon Smith. And Miami showing off its incredible depth at the running back position as well, as Seanbray McNeil has been featured during this drive. Number 33, Cannon Smith, Ja'Cory Harris, Taylor Cook, all first-year Hurricanes at the quarterback position. Smith out of Memphis, same hometown as Greg Cooper of the Hurricanes. Cannon did get experience at Hargrave Military Academy last year. Prior to that, put up some sterling numbers in high school at Olive Branch High in Mississippi. In 2006, 2,300-plus yards, 27 touchdowns for Cannon Smith. Adding depth at the quarterback spot. Throws on the run and shows off his arm strength as that one is completed right at the 35-yard line. Pass complete to the junior Sam Shields. So Miami, a complete turnover. You don't see this very often at a major program. Of course, Kyle Wright graduating, Kirby Freeman transferring to Baylor University, and a whole new group of quarterbacks with Robert Marve, the only guy that was actually on the roster last year as a redshirt freshman after suffering the injury in the car crash. Robert Marve back, and 3 quarterbacks, fresh faces on this team.
Well, it's definitely not ideal. It's not how you would draw it up if you were a recruiting coordinator or a head coach. But Pat Nix has been very candid in saying that there's really no room for egos at the quarterback position this year.
How about that blazing speed? Good enough for a Hurricane touchdown. And Seanbray McNeil, the sophomore out of Dallas, just too quick for the Buccaneer defense. Turning on the Jets on the left sideline, the 32 yards, his second career touchdown.
Again, the Charleston Southern defense is just a little bit outmanned and overpowered, even by this second team offensive line. You see a great double team up front by Bird, and then Seanbray McNeil turns on the Jets. He's got world-class speed. He's a 5A state record holder out of Texas. Turns on the Jets and gets in for a touchdown, gets to the pylon.
Boy, after the recent Olympics with all sorts of incredible speed displayed in Beijing, you watch on the sideline as Seanbray McNeil, who last year carried it 20 times for 90 yards and scored a touchdown. Well, the likes of Reggie Ellington, the quarterback, number 34, not used to seeing somebody as fleet with his feet. So the Hurricanes have actually, they're going to rule he was out of bounds, McNeil. So not credited with the touchdown on that play. But on this one, the handoff into the backfield and just takes an extra play for Seanbray McNeil. So the Hurricanes surpassing the half-century mark, now leading 51-7. We saw earlier in the first half, Leonard Hankerson's touchdown wiped out by a penalty. They went right back to him, and he scored on the next play. Same case here, as the Hurricane coaches reward the efforts of Seanbray McNeil.
Yeah, you like to see that. You know, he was the workhorse on that drive. Had a great run there. You like to see Pat Nix reward him with the touchdown after stepping out on the one. So great job by this entire stable of running backs. You know, everybody's got to touch the ball tonight. And on this play, you know, it was just almost an afterthought. Runs in for the touchdown, but well-rewarded, well-deserved touchdown for Seanbray McNeil.
Randy Shannon, reason to smile as he opens up his second year as head coach for the school that he played for and served so many years as an outstanding assistant coach and defensive coordinator. Seanbray McNeil, after the long run, sets up his own 1-yard plunge, 7-play, 49-yard drive, and Miami up 52-7 over Charleston Southern of the football championship subdivision. This a game that was originally scheduled for North Texas. Actually, I shouldn't even say that. North Texas was a substitution for the original opener to the 2008 season, KC.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a home-on-home with Missouri, which would have been a fantastic series. But with Missouri's tough schedule within the Big 12, they opted out and actually bought out. And then North Texas was set up to come in and open the stadium. They opted out and actually had to buy out again. And on short notice, Charleston Southern, for the right amount of money, the right donation to their program, comes in and actually they do get a touchdown on these Canes and avoid the shutout. But it has been all Canes all day today.
Head coach Jay Mills understands the value of this game, not only monetarily, but an opportunity for his guys to play in a big stadium against a high-profile program like the University of Miami. They traveled, as said, out to the University of Hawaii to take on the Warriors last year. And next year, before you Gator fans out there start to mock the opposition on the field for Miami tonight, well, you'll be taking on the Charleston Southern Buccaneers in Gainesville next year.
I tell you what, the Charleston Southern, you know, the players on this team, they showed a lot of pride tonight. They got nothing to be ashamed of. You know, they're definitely outmatched, outmanned, but they continue to fight. I mean, you look at this Tribble Reese, he continues to run for his life. I'm not sure if it's pride or he's trying to save his own skin. But these guys, they did not lay down. They came out, they fought hard, and they can go back to Charleston with their heads high, knowing that they put forth a great effort.
There's a look at Tribble Reese. His first game with this new program after coming over from Clemson. Giving way right now on what will likely be the last drive of the night for the Buccaneers. Gabe Gilmore, redshirt freshman quarterback out of Hilton Head, South Carolina. Led his high school team to a state championship. A redshirt last year, so his first snaps at the collegiate level, and he hands it off, spinning his way for a first down on the right side before being brought down for the Buccaneers on the carry, number 33, Sam Baptiste.
I think University of Miami can take away a lot of things from this game. You know, I think they did get an opportunity to evaluate some of their younger players. You know, I think out of the 13 freshmen that were slotted to play, I think they all got time today with live bullets in a real game situation. They were able to execute the offense. Ja'Cory Harris did a fantastic job managing the game, avoided turnovers.
Highly touted freshman Brandon Harris lowering the boom on that play for the Canes.
Yeah, and another. I mean, this is great game time experience for these guys. and there's really no slowdown in the tempo for these young players. See another take on that hit. He's able to make the hit, wrap up. Good fundamentals. And I've been very impressed by the maturity and the level of play by these young Miami Hurricanes.
You know, when you were at school, Casey Jones, true freshmen were not called upon to contribute right away. You were able to learn under the wings of the veterans and the coaching staff, almost serving an apprenticeship in your first year. Obviously, the game has changed in general, and certainly the demand is there for Randy Shannon to count on these first-year Hurricanes now. But unlike years past where the guys might have needed a year or two to develop, certainly the case tonight as the clock winds down where these young Hurricanes are not that far away.
I don't think so, and I think it's a tribute to their hard work, their talent, and the coaching of Randy Shannon and all their position coaches get them prepared for this first game in Dolphin Stadium.
Well, the Miami Hurricanes get their season off on the right foot. Miami defeating Charleston Southern 52-7, and now it gets tough. The Hurricanes will head on the road to take on the Florida Gators and Texas A&M before returning home here. Ja'Cory Harris also a start tonight in his first start at quarterback for the Kings, 190 yards and a touchdown running and passing with the football. That's going to wrap things up from Dolphin Stadium. We'd like to thank everybody involved. Our executive producer, Steve Thomas. Senior coordinating producer is Russ Aaron. Today's game produced by Ray Poliakovo and directed by Bob Fleming. For more information on CSS, including programming information, your favorite team's schedule, and how you can become a CSS Ultimate fan, log on to css-sports.com. For my partner, Casey Jones, I'm Jason Solak, and we say so long from Miami and Dolphin Stadium, where the Hurricanes open up the 2008 season with a victory 52-7 over Charleston Southern.